Almost there. Got live streaming going. Excellent. So welcome Facebook world and welcome everyone. I know some people are hopping in late, so I'll try not to repeat myself. Yeah, that's awesome, Jesse. It's so good to have you. I was so glad to see that you could hop in. It's always a blessing to have your energy here. And we've got our Heather Squares in the house. Welcome to Heather Bichette as well. Awesome. Hello, beautiful. Just getting started. Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Yay.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited for tonight. I'm so excited whenever I'm like editing my videos. I'm always like, I'm so
Aw.
excited. I'm so excited. But it feels really good tonight, just because of the place that we're in. And I really had this like powerful meditation sort of channeling in today to do a parts integration through our chakras. So our intention for tonight is going to be to embrace this. Like there's some really powerful stuff going on. We have this full moon in Scorpio coming up, which is like so emotional and so big and wavy and sort of um watery type energy. And then we have this, we just entered the basically the Taurus season, so that's really earthy and grounding. And so we're going to balance that out a little bit, and we're going to balance our chakras by doing a bit of a parts integration alignment kind of recode meditation sort of thing. Because I've just felt, I was going through my chakras today, feeling those parts of us that kind of get lodged in particular chakras. And so we're going to kind of work our way through them, just really getting to know some of our parts and personalities. We do parts integration exercises where we kind of invite all the parts to come in and we just sort of allow them to get on board. But really, this last couple of weeks has been, it's been the last couple of years really, that we have been going on this really huge journey of understanding, those things that are in our way and understanding those parts of us. And I thought it would be just really fitting to be able to embrace the power of all of our parts working together towards what this clarity has kind of brought us in the last few weeks. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, especially this last week, my conversations. I don't know if I'm just coaching too much, but even my conversations with friends, it's all like nothing is normal anymore. It's all about, creating, like no matter what, I'm talking about, okay, so what are you creating? What is this showing you? Everybody's like, well, there's just this part of me that just, da da da. And it's like, so, what is that saying right now? Let's unpack that a little bit, let's have a conversation. And once we start unpacking some of it, it's like, it's so profound, because it's like you just see the field at work with people that have done no work in this sort of in intentional conscious work anyways. They're just like, yeah, well, this this feeling, like I don't know why I'm always feeling this feeling. And then a minute later we're talking and they're telling me exactly why they're feeling that feeling. And it was like an old story about grandparents, or about, it goes way back to their childhood. And it just, things are just dropping in so clearly and so profoundly for people, that when we're around the right people that are kind of in that high vibe too, when we're around people that are really listening to us and really kind of conscious, and that you can have those really sort of juicy conversations with, you wind up having some pretty juicy conversations. And you can just, yay, welcome, Nikki. Yes, you made it. Perfect timing. I'm just getting started, just yabbering a little bit just about some of the powerful conversations. This time is kind of all about big change. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you hopped in here. Now you can chat with us as well. So there's been some really profound changes that have been happening. There's been some really big aha moments. There's been some pretty rapid expansion happening. And in order for that rapid expansion to happen, some stuff has had to kind of root its way up to the surface to be seen. And I feel like I love it. I'm so happy that you're here. You know what, this felt like a really good timed um, webinar. I was really excited to kind of come on and do this because this whole being your, you know, your sort of powerful, your own predominant creative force in your life has been really showing up in a lot of ways. It's like we're really kind of figuring out what being that powerful predominant creator really looks like. And that's with managing emotions, that's with managing, of course, the only thing we can manage, which is our reactions, which is how we feel about something, which is what we're choosing to emanate. And when we take the time to really notice, to really actually notice those conversations that we're having, when we take the time to really notice how we're responding to something versus just kind of unconsciously reacting to something where, you know, you would kind of, in your old patterns, you would tend to maybe just kind of let yourself feel off and then react off, start having conversations from an off place, and it doesn't really go well. It doesn't really, it's not going where you want it to, and you're having this information come up so that you can actually slow down and make this choice. Do I want to stay in this vibration or don't I? And it was interesting because I came home last night quite late, and my daughters and my husband were uh, just watching this movie. And I thought, why are you watching this movie? This is a weird movie to watch. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. I don't think a lot of people probably have. It's called Click. It was this movie with Adam Sandler and Christopher Walken. And it was just kind of this cheesy movie. And I thought, well, this is so weird. And he gets this remote control as a little bit of a gift because he's wanting to just kind of be there already. He's wanting to kind of, he's trying to make partner in his business. He's trying to get all this, he's trying to do all this stuff. And he gets this remote where he can kind of fast forward through life. And it seems so great because, like, there's things like, you know, dinner with your family that you just kind of, you'd rather be, he had work to do after, so he just fast forwarded the dinner, and he just kind of went on, they called it an autopilot phase. And so he realized that he could kind of go through his life on this autopilot, and by the end his kids were grown, and then it started to auto fast forward, and then his kids were grown, and he missed a whole bunch of stuff. And you know, the end of his life, his wife was with someone else, and hopefully I'm not like spoiler alerting this movie, but it was kind of apparent in just in all the conversations I've been having. I was saying every conversation I have, it's kind of like I'm coaching all the time. It's like, let's unpack this, let's look at that. Why is that coming up for you? What, you know, what, why are you feeling that way? And it's just, it's coming in for people. They're getting these messages, they're getting these um they're getting this information, and it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a lesson all the time. It can actually be learning to enjoy the journey versus always thinking that it's going to be better in the end if we have something. And so I've been feeling this just strong feeling of being that powerful creative force in my life when I'm able to be in a state that is not desirable necessarily, just because you're vibrate, you can feel it. It's that contracted, that constricted vibration. And it's like, if I stayed in that vibration, then the things that are going to be coming out of my mouth are not the things that I'm intending to come out. And then you have to backtrack, then you feel your guilt, then you feel your, but before getting there, it was like this, almost like this little rumble strip that just showed me I wasn't at the vibration that I wanted to be at. And it was so much easier to just kind of shift into where I wanted to be. And immediately how I was reacting, how I was experiencing the field, how things started to kind of, synchronicities dropped in right away. We're just getting all of these really immediate signs and signals that we are on the right path by showing us how to feel better, how to, it's like, oh, that feels better. Just, I almost realized, well, that could have gone, so many ways, but here we are. It went this way because I actually was conscious. I actually was present. I actually understood. And then after watching this movie, it was just like this profound, like I only tuned into parts of the movie, but the parts that I tuned into were um, so innately fitting into what this energy is that's going on right now. And we're in this kind of like autopilot, fast forward type of energy where we're right between eclipses. We had this huge solar eclipse last week, and basically the end of next week on Friday, when I'm going to be doing my next meditation, we're going to be doing a full moon, as it comes into the Taurus energy, as it comes into alignment with all the Venus and all the planets that are just all sort of about self-love and integration and allowing this all to happen. This week may be kind of tumultuous or even feel rather intense, but that's because this week is the exact week that we're supported to allow this to move through, to allow ourselves to feel that emotion, because there's things that have been packed down for years that are coming up right now, and they're memories that we're having all of a sudden about things that we hadn't thought about for years. They're memories that are coming up that are even grief, even, when we felt really like we really didn't make a good decision, that, it's something that we have been avoiding, something that we have packed down so far that we were really planning on never even thinking about. They're coming up for people. They really are. And you'll see some people who aren't really conscious of this that are really struggling because all of these things are coming up for them to see. And when you don't look at it and see it for what it is so that you can feel it to heal it, we just kind of, I see people almost trying to stop themselves from crying, trying to stop themselves from feeling the emotion that they're feeling right now. But we need to feel it. And we're feeling it because timelines are being cleared and timelines are being shifted. And we are in this fast paced, like, spaceship ride that is taking us to exactly where we are meant to be and exactly where we are supposed to be going for our true soul expansion, for what we've been wanting. But it's not that we're changing, we're bringing back all of those parts that are kind of in our energy centers that are wanting to be heard, wanting to be cleaned and cleared. And that space, oh, that space when we allow some of this emotion through this week, like it's kind of like a go inside kind of week, like really give yourself some time for meditation, really give yourself some time for self-care, like in a luxurious way. Like think about the things that we could be doing for ourselves. Something that came up in my field last week was, and I found myself saying it and then really recognizing that I had said it before, like my husband has, my husband has this amazing insurance plan that I could be seeing physiotherapists and massage therapists and athletic therapists, and I could be going for all sorts of healing work on my shoulder. I could be really pushing forward with this. I could really, like, or even just having a massage, like it's paid for, and I'm not even going and taking advantage of that. And there's part of me that really thinks that everyone else should have it and not me, right? And so it was like, wow, that came up really big. I'm going to book a massage, darn it. And even just the going back to the clothing, the things that we need, that we sort of hold back from ourselves, really looking at these parts want to be seen, these parts of us that have been kind of they're so strong, it's so ingrained, these parts have been running the show, and to not separate them, but to have them join back into the wholeness of ourselves, to really allow this union of all of our parts. And so we're going to really look at our parts today in each energy center and really kind of really look at these, like really look, see what they look like, see what they feel like, see what they want to say to us, see what they're trying to tell us, so that we can actually so that we can really embrace them, listen to them, because they, they have this important message for us. So this is going to be like, we're so in tune and sort of tapped in right now, and all of this energy is really coming forward with Mercury retrograde now. Pluto is going into retrograde in like a few days on the 1st, and that is kind of like our soul teacher. That is kind of like our um it's our sort of magnifier. It allows us to really see some of these older patterns, these older woundings that need to be kind of healed, and bring those forward. And by the end of the week, it's going to be sort of like that birthing feeling after kind of having this contracted state, having this stuff all kind of come up in our face. It's going to be almost like magic, where things are sort of finally dropping into the timeline. It's like we're literally just getting in alignment with where we're going, and really holding that power, staying in that vibration of those emotions that we want to feel, and allowing more of that, telling the story of the vibrations of where we're going, and not telling the other part of the story of, but I'm not there yet. We're literally able to kind of feel that strength, feel that power behind us, of the planets just kind of pushing us into that growth, into that expansion period. It's like that past can't hold you anymore, because you've let it come through, you've felt it, you've literally healed it by allowing some of this stuff to come up. So it's not to punish, it's not to test, it's just to literally show you exactly what is in the way, without the huge trauma scale behind it, without it ripping your life apart. It's just like beautiful information kind of dripping in. And I keep sort of talking about cycles and how eclipses work. And this last cycle is kind of like the end to what sort of started in November of last year. So when we felt these kind of underlying wants and urges, and sort of getting our self in gear for those New Year's resolutions, where we're sort of going, this is kind of like the cleanup crew of the last few weeks. If we've done the work, if we've kind of allowed this to happen, if we've allowed ourselves to feel some of these emotions without beating ourselves up, without beating others up, with being gentle and kind in our emotions, we're able to actually really get this clarity that is going to come through over the next few weeks. It's all really heightened, right? All these answers are kind of like slowly being revealed, if you're paying attention, if you're looking for what these questions that are popping in are actually telling you, because the answers are right behind. So always kind of keeping that realm of all possibilities in, keeping your energy open to what might be coming up to be shown to you. It's some really powerful stuff right now. So we're literally like in the middle of this eclipse doorway. So we're like smack dab in the middle. It's literally been a week since we had that solar eclipse. It's hey Sarah, welcome. Glad to have you here. It's a week before this full moon, where I actually don't recommend doing rituals, or normal kind of like full moon rituals in an eclipse portal like this, because it's so intense, because we can be so focused on manifestation, we can be so focused on what we want to let go. Sometimes it can happen so quickly, it can actually almost backfire on us. It's almost better to kind of allow the progression with eclipses, just sort of ride that wave. I almost feel like it's literally almost like riding a wave. You really just kind of have to let that wave carry you where you need to go. And once we actually realize and understand that when we let go of trying to fight the wave, when we're exhausting ourselves and doing all the time, and we let that wave carry us where it needs to go, oh, it's such a beautiful thing. That is the power of having true control. Because when we're trying to control things, we're controlling all of those around us. It feels like struggle. It feels like pushing. It feels like so much action all the time. It just feels like it's such an energy drain. And when we look on it at it on an energetic basis rather than a physical 3D type basis, when we actually allow these things to come up and move through us in such a beautiful, gentle way, it I heard it described as getting the bends when we try manifesting in the portals or seem to, yeah, right. When we actually try too hard to push things, it can actually really backfire on us. So this is where we actually need to not only understand the energy work that we've kind of been setting up and doing each day, but really look at those changes that we're feeling called to implement, not those feelings of like, I've got to do something. It's actually, what am I really feeling called to do? And the beautiful thing is that when we're in, and you guys know this, when we're in that vibration of what just gives me more joy, what just gives me more exhilaration, what just gives me, when we start kind of staying in that creative structure, right? That is when these beautiful insights and clear pathways and clear GPS points really start to drop in for us. It's when we make the space, when we allow the feelings that we're having to be seen and to be honored. Because they're being seen, they're being brought up in this time because it's actually able to heal on a really intense and quick basis. It's not going to take years. It's kind of like cleaning up all of the rest of just those little cords that are still attached, those little parts of us that still need a little bit of alignment. And so I think that's why I was so called to do literally a part type integration with the chakras involved, and really allowing us to be able to let this stuff move through us like we need to. So this eclipse that's coming up next week, again, we won't see it in the Northern Hemisphere. So lucky Australians and UK people and Indonesian people will be seeing this eclipse, and it's going to look kind of neat. It's literally the earth causing a shadow onto the moon because it's blocking the sun. And so you're going to see it kind of move across, and it's going to take almost 5 hours to actually move this shadow right across the moon. So it's going to be intense but gentle. Oh, my ears are starting to ring, starting to get the frequencies changing. And so the moon's energy is allowing us to kind of reset. It's like a cleansing over, a washing out, and literally resetting timelines. So it's going to be almost surreal in some ways for people as they truly shift into this new identity that they've been becoming. And it's going to be easier and easier to see what that looks like and to feel what that feels like with all of our parts on board, but also just cosmically because of the way the planets are aligning. When Pluto kind of goes into retrograde there, it's allowing you to let go of some of these old stories. And sometimes we even refer to them as past life stories, like the stuff that's not even ours, the stuff that's really ready to shift. And it's all about how to put you first. And so for our people pleasing, for our self-worth and abundance, this Taurus season that we've just entered on like the 20th of April, so April 20th to around May 20th, it's all kind of connected to the grounding of that, the self-love, the self-recognition, the worth, the worthiness is really going to come in big time, like big time. We're going to see it on a whole different level here. That feeling sometimes where we don't feel worthy, that is basically going to be eradicated this month, this coming up. Welcome, Jessica. It's literally, this is a shift of a lifetime where this what we have been asking for, especially if we have been working on that one limiting belief of not feeling worthy. It's literally kind of like that feeling is going to go away, and it's going to be quite amazing as far as abundance goes. May, June, July are just where things are going to start coming in to a point where you're almost going to have to stand back and laugh for a minute and go, "Is was I had no idea this was going to be this easy. This is amazing. I love it." It's literally these new patterns, these new timelines that we've been starting are finally producing results, finally showing us these results where they're actually gonna, each day is gonna become a little bit easier and easier. We're gonna be, as long as you're kind of still doing the work. And so one little thing, one little implementation of something that you've been needing to do for yourself. And again, we're going to ask that in the meditation that we're going to do right away. We're going to be asking for those things. We're going to be asking to be shown, some of these things that for self-care that will really just keep us on that path of pulling forward, especially for those changes that we've been really ready to make for a long time. It's just going to feel so easy, and it's going to feel so inspired, and not like you're forcing it. It's just going to be like, I actually just really want to do this. So people are already, I have a person working on giving up medications. I have a person, they're just like, I feel just ready to quit smoking. I feel ready to do this. And it's a feeling of being ready, like they've never been ready before. They're really ready. Like they're really ready. So they're like, okay, that is my intention that I'm holding, and writing it down, having it in your, whether it's a vision board, whether it's whatever it is, to have that constant reminder every single day to be able to sort of keep yourself accountable until it just becomes easier and easier. It's going to be very easy to not procrastinate this next month. Like, isn't that great news, right? Those little patterns, those old habits that we had, they're not going to creep in like they did before. We're taking charge. We're taking control because we can choose to take control over that every day, but we don't choose that every day. We don't make that choice some days to be that true predominant creative force in your life. And out of all of the end results, all of the true choices that we choose, this is one that really I could not wrap my head around what it really meant until these last couple of weeks. And this is after doing over 2 years of this work. It's like I finally get what this means because I'm practicing it. And it's almost like, to be a teacher, you have to understand what you're teaching. You have to be practicing it. You have to be getting it. You have to be able to understand how to teach it to others, not just from something that you read, but actually having those experiences. And it's like, it's truly been blowing my mind. And not just being positive, but actually being, keeping that attitude of anything is possible. What if, even if someone just says like, this happened today, I'm like, what if that could be the best thing ever? Even I know a lot of you have been going through loss and grief this week, where family, like, if whether it's family members, friends, they've been losing people and we want to support them. And it's just like, how do you wrap your head around, I've got goosebumps now. How do you wrap your head around losing someone, especially when they're really young, especially when, like, you can't, like, there's no reason for it. They should still be here. They should still be existing. What if their greatest gift that they gave was having their life end at that point, with the people around them going through what they went through? And who knows where they'll end up? They could end up changing the world, because losing that person made them realize how much having that person in their life meant to them, and they're going to just propel forward. They're like, it's hard to imagine. I have friends that have especially lost their kids even a few years ago, and still you can't possibly see your way out of the darkness sometimes. But holding that possibility of anything is possible, they're still with you, teaching you, guiding you, being there. Maybe they're able to even help you more from the other side than they were from being here. Maybe this is all meant to be somehow, some strange way. If we can move into acceptance around that, we can move into some of that joy and that love and that energy again of, holding them near and dear to us, and honoring them in a way that doesn't harm ourselves, and really allowing ourselves to become what this world needs, this light worker, this, making these sort of conscious choices, never again allowing ourselves to go unconscious, never again taking a moment for granted, just like in this cheesy movie that we watched, that you take so many things for granted. We're always in such a rush to get there. But the journey of getting there, those moments, those everyday moments, those days that you have in between, even the manifestation moments, are just so beautiful. Those are our lessons. That is what we're learning. We're learning to how to have relationships with people, what kind of relationships we want with people, how to be that person that we want to have in our lives, how to have that person we want to be in our lives, how to coexist with these people and have these beautiful moments every day, because we can if we choose to, right? We really can. We can make every moment, whether it is hard or wonderful, the best experience that we've ever had by just choosing it, right? And this energy is going to help us keep things positive. It's going to help us not get dragged down into the negative, which will make it safe to allow some of this emotion to come up that will and has been coming up this week, and to really just kind of, it's almost like, oh, okay, it's just storming out, there's some lightning, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm grounded and that I am not, playing with hangers out in the lightning, right? Like, we can just kind of make these choices to be able to really navigate ourselves through this time, understanding that all this stuff isn't coming up to punish us or to just be painful or to just show us all this shit in our lives. It's actually coming up because there's parts of us that finally feel safe and are joining the team to bring us to where we want to go. And that space that we're creating by allowing this emotion to move through and this denseness to leave our field and to get regenerated back to where it needs to go, allows us to just integrate all these parts. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I got the biggest goosebumps right now. That just makes me want to tear up, because there are so many people taking their own lives right now because this stuff is coming up and it's hitting them in the face. And if they're not recognizing, it's just showing you the story, and that doesn't have to be the story. This is something you went through. This is something you learned from. This is something that you can help people through. This is something that is a part of their journey, a part of your journey for a reason. And understand those reasons rather than thinking, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening to me? It's like, why is this happening? What can possibly be an outcome of something like this happening? And I end up thinking right again of these amazing possibilities. The people in their family, it's said, when someone else takes their life, there's a lot of survivors that don't make it as well because they almost can't deal with it. When we are able to understand that, when we're able to view life as this gift every day, we're able to help the other people that are the survivors to be able to manage their way through this. This is big stuff that's going on. And it's also why it's really important right now to make sure that you're staying around positive people, that you're staying around people that will keep lifting you up, that will keep, it really is. It's so hard. There's people fighting for their lives, and there's people, just giving up on them all at the same time. And it's, man, if we could just have some balance in that, right? This is helping us, though, to gain clarity. It's all to gain clarity. It's all so that we can actually allow this flowing to happen of this healing, and to be as grounded as we possibly can. So I feel like right now my hands are tingling. I just really want to take you guys on a beautiful journey tonight, where we are going to just allow all of our energy centers to get grounded, to get connected to the Earth's grid, to get connected into the life codes, the belief codes, the codes that are just ready to upgrade our systems. And whatever that pushes out, whatever that brings up, we're going to allow some of our parts to do some healing and we're going to allow some of our energy centers to do some healing. And so I would love for you guys to just set the intention for yourselves to really just choose to allow this healing process to happen, and to give yourself the permission to just go into this space and allow the things that need to come up tonight to just float to the surface like riding a wave, to just embrace it, embrace that energy, and just allow your body to get as comfortable as possible. Wherever you are, whether you want to lie down on a yoga mat or bed, or if you want to just sit, I'd love it if you guys just took a few moments and just got yourself comfortable, as comfy, cozy as possible. And we're going to enter the womb of the forest as we just tap in and tune in to nature and into your happy place. And I want you to just imagine a beautiful forest bed, all of the green around you, all of the nature, whatever it may be, trees, animals, moss, rocks, pathways, whatever it may be. And I want you to just look for a comfy, cozy place in this forest that feels much like a womb to you, that you could simply go lay down in this forest bed, just like you're Snow White and you're finding a little tree to nap under, a little place to rest your weary head in this forest. And imagine it's just starting to hold you like a mother's womb would, and every part of your body that is touching this forest ground, just literally imagining yourself laying down on the forest floor and feeling it envelop you, feeling small cords, small roots starting to grow out of your body and literally connect into the earth. And I want you to just imagine for a moment that you can connect with your breath and your heartbeat, just tuning into these amazing inner workings of your body, this heartbeat that just flows all the time, sending all of the blood to everywhere it needs to, like a well-oiled machine. Just being conscious of your heartbeat, perhaps feeling a little flutter, feeling your blood pumping through your body, feeling that connectedness, and actually feeling the visceral feeling of you touching the forest floor, whether it's just your butt or your feet or your whole body. You might just be feeling yourself enveloping, and it feels like an unrestricted light womb where you're lying there, but you're almost floating all at the same time. And the hugs that are coming from the earth's core, the roots that are tapping deep down into the ground, connecting you as one. You're feeling your body start to just be enveloped in light, in translucent light. It's almost like a womb-like feeling, a plasma type, amniotic fluid type of feeling that's just feeding every cell, that's just starting to heal, starting to regenerate, starting to give you this beautiful rebirth that Pluto is so enhancing. Feeling the moon, feeling the solar eclipse, those eclipse portal doors just holding you, teaching you everything you need to know, nourishing your body in every way, just having every cell start to receive this beautiful earth energy. Connecting with your breath, I just want you to notice your breath going in and out. And as you breathe in, just breathe in that peaceful feeling, that joy, that enlightenment of feeling so connected to the earth, and just choose to allow your body to feel this connection, to allow this healing to start to happen. And I want you to imagine those roots tapping deep down into the earth, connecting with all the codes, and they're starting to enter your body from the bottom of your body, starting to enter your body through the feet, just transposing and translating all the information through your feet, through your legs. They're almost starting to vibrate, starting to feel like they're being cleaned out, like the fluid that's being pumped in from the earth and this womb is cleaning and clearing your feet, your legs, your pathway, the stuff you'd been holding on to, those old roots, those old patterns, and bringing it up into the root chakra where all of those familial types of patterns and types of learnings and teachings are all settled into. And as we're all connecting into the superconscious field, I just want you to feel a yes from your body to allow this to start flowing, to allow these codes, this energy from me to you, to our fields connecting from the superconscious field. Just give a yes from your body, from every cell, like you can just feel it from your mind's eye, and just allow your root chakra to start to embrace the color red. Perhaps it's rusty, perhaps it's dark, just noticing the red color that comes in here as we ask the superconscious to bring in the parts that reside, that have scars, that have ties deep down into this root chakra. And I want you to feel that root chakra, those parts that have been deep down in there for a long time. Maybe some of those parts of you that have some fear attached. And I want you to just ask the superconscious field right now to bring these parts up, those parts that are in fear of something, those parts that feel anxiety, those anxious parts. Just imagine these parts coming forward right now. They're a part of you. They're in your field. They may be little, there may be lots, there may be one or two, there may be none. But those parts, those defragmented times in your life where you felt that anxiety, those moments in time, those parts that had to defragment to make you who you are, we're just bringing them on board right now. And superconscious, please bring all of the parts on board in the root chakra, and just tag and treat any of those parts, that workaholic parts, the ones that feel so rooted in that life has to be tough, that part that tells you, no, life, what if it was easy? That feels so scary. It gives me anxiety. Just bring that part forward right now, and just showing it that we're ready to change. There's some parts in there that don't like change. Bring that part forward right now. See what that part looks like to you, and ask these parts, what do they want to say? What are they trying to tell you? Those are some heavy parts, the parts that can bring you back, that can keep you from moving forward. They feel heavy. Some of those parts that just, they're always afraid. We're going to allow them to see right now that there's truly nothing to be afraid of. There's truly nothing to be afraid of. And tag and treat any resistance to there's nothing to be afraid of. Tagging any resistance around these parts coming up, and doing a massive change history on all of these parts. And superconscious, please showing them right now what it feels like to be a whole part of you, those parts that can feel safe. Tag and treat I am safe. The identity of being safe, of it being easy, of feeling that ease and flow. Tag and treat the identity of letting go, allowing, receiving. Doing a massive change history on all of those parts. Tagging and treating any stories in that root chakra that may need a bit of redirection, and just show them where we're going right now. We're all wanting the same thing. We're all wanting to thrive. We've been wanting this for a long time. Just showing these parts how exciting it is and how it feels to not be afraid. And allowing those parts to speak to you right now of what they're afraid of, and allow that to be seen, felt, and healed. And doing a massive change history on all of that in the field right now in the root chakra. Just allowing that to reintegrate. Imagine you being tapped deep down into the earth, and anything that's ready to leave right now can actually leave through those channels, through those roots, down in through the bottom of your body. It can actually be released and feel as though there's almost a wave of energy that comes up through your legs and your feet and unlocks and unblocks and recalibrates that root chakra into a cleaner, clearer version, a different color of red. Just allow that to flow and create almost like a cyclical wave going through your body right now, just feeling the movement of that chakra as it finally can start to create some space as it moves into the sacral chakra, into that next chakra up, that lower belly, those hips, the colon, the kidneys, all that lower belly. Noticing that if we're oversensitive or we have parts of us that just have some poor boundaries. Those boundaries were crossed, they were set up. We let our boundaries just be way too open, where we almost don't have any. Afraid of change, not fearing it, but actually being afraid of it. Bring forward, super conscious, those parts that are fearful of change. Perhaps our boundaries are even so hard that we're not letting anything in. This is where we look at our personal boundaries. What kind of parts are coming up for you? Is there some really rigid parts that made contracts at one point that they were never going to let certain things happen, and just allow these parts to come forward and allow some of these contracts that these parts had to simply be nullified? They don't have, those parts are not leaving, they're not going anywhere. They're truly joining the treatment team. And super conscious, please tag and treat any of these parts that are ready to join the treatment team right now, and do a massive change history on all those and everything in the field. And tag and treat some of these contracts that have come up about the thoughts we had, about the rules that we set or didn't set. Just allow some of these parts. Look at some of these parts. What do they look like? Are they older? Are they younger? Are they past generational? Are they connected to stories or patterns? Allowing your body to take a nice receiving breath. Feel that orange coloration start to come through and swirl through that sacral plexus, that sacral chakra. Feeling how boundaries would actually feel, and feeling those boundaries that you've crossed yourself, those boundaries that you pushed yourself, those ways you've treated yourself and others that you just are ready to let go of, that you're ready to shift, that you're ready to change, and not being afraid of that anymore and what that means. And allowing all these parts to come on board and write a new contract. Make a new contract with these parts about loving yourself, about honoring yourself, about honoring others, putting yourself in their shoes even, noticing how they may feel, how you may feel when you react, when you speak the way you do, when your words are coming into their field. What are they emitting? What kind of frequency? It's going to come right back to you. Looking at what you want, what your true desires are, and writing some new contracts. And super conscious, just noticing what these new contracts are. What are you ready for? What are you just ready to commit to in a new way? And allowing those old contracts to simply be brought down through those roots, down back into the earth's core, just recalibrating, just regenerating, bringing us back to our whole self. Noticing with all of this, the tree is getting stronger. You are that tree that's getting stronger. And I want you to imagine that this energy, this light, is starting to move up into your solar plexus with a beautiful yellow color. Just allowing this energy to move through, doing a massive change history on the sacral and root chakra together as they start to align you into this beautiful solid tree trunk of reperceptualization, reconceptualization of some of these root stories and some of these patterns, and understanding that these parts have all along just been trying to keep you safe, and now they know where you're going, and we're going to start expanding into that and telling these parts in the solar plexus where we are going. The solar plexus is where the control is. This is where we get to be that true predominant creative force in our life. When we get to choose, when we get to hold that power, to know that power. And this is where we get to release the story of having no willpower, of being a hot mess, of never following through, of not doing the things. We get to release these right now and just feel how good that feels as that almost flushes down into the core of the earth, and these new light codes of where you're going, the things you can control, the things you're going to control, the things you're just ready to start controlling. Your body, your mind, your soul, your intentions, and superconscious do a massive change history on that and everything needed. Tagging and treating any resistance to letting control be the new power, superpower that you have, your control over yourself, just noticing where you can actually take that control back. Controlling your responses, controlling your reactions, being that true identity of who you are, your authentic self, stepping into that, doing a massive change history. Notice there's a part perhaps that will go to victim, and allowing that victim part to be heard, to be seen. See this part. Superconscious, please bring all of the parts. Please tag and treat all the parts that are used to going to that victim mentality that we know, but we see, we don't want to be, don't choose to go there anymore. Just allow that to simply transmute, to be recontracted, to give an upgrade of feeling powerful, of feeling sure, of feeling clarity, and noticing when we're judging, noticing those parts that tend to judge. Notice what we notice about other people. Notice what we're saying about other people. Noticing the words that are coming out. Noticing if we have a fear of being alone is a part that likes to hang out in the solar plexus, and just tag and treat superconscious, that part that has that fear of being alone, the fear of being exiled, and do a massive change history on that. And allowing all these parts to slowly integrate into these lower three chakras, grounding you more than ever, feeling that tree trunk just expanding and growing. Notice what this tree trunk looks like. It might be there's knots in that tree, but you feel it causing even more strength and growth, and the bark is starting to form, and you're just being embraced by nature. You're becoming a part of nature. Notice what your tree is looking like as you're starting to grow, as we start to branch up into the beautiful green color. Noticing what the colors are like now in your lower chakras, like a beautiful sunset, so connected. All of the colors just integrating, and allow this green coloration to start moving into that heart chakra, to start healing. This is where we've given our hearts so big to everyone. We've people pleased. We've made everyone happy for so long. Look at these parts now. Allow these parts to be seen, to be shone on. Allow this eclipse portal to shine this light, like a door cracking, like a window opening, like information finally coming in about all of this energy we were giving away, trying to make everybody happy. Just allowing this energy to shift into the only person that you are ever in control of making happy is you. And what does that look like? Ask the superconscious to show you right now some of the moments in time where you have just felt happy, when you have given to yourself when when it just felt so good to put you first, to fill your cup, to have that energy to give to others, to feel that inspired action in your heart. Just allowing that green coloration to start swirling and moving, recalibrating this beautiful heart chakra that has such a big space. It spreads out feet around our body, and just notice how solid and how much energy is in that heart chakra when we allow it to recalibrate, to heal. Feel how big it is, feel how expansive it is as your tree starts to branch out into roots, but branches and leaves, and just starts to expand. And notice the growth that happens as this heart chakra starts to be cleansed, cleared, transmuted, bringing that energy right into that heart chakra. Whenever we focused on others, we haven't allowed our own tree branches to grow. And just notice that the minute you start putting this energy in, those branches just expand with such ease and such grace and such flow, just putting the focus there, just pushing those beautiful leaves, those buds into growth mode, into starting to work together to feed the tree. It's so beautiful. Cleansing and clearing all of that all of those heartbreaking moments, just knowing and seeing and feeling and hearing some of those parts in the heart chakra, some of that grief, some of that pain, some of that needs to be seen and felt and healed right now. As that light just swirls around, recalibrates, fills your shoulders, your arms. Feel how your arms start to branch into those branches and trees, start to literally illuminate like this beautiful magical tree of light in the middle of a forest, being so grounded in, allowing some of that pain to be dissipated by Earth's energy. And just take a nice receiving big breath as you just receive that energy, cleansing and clearing and balancing that chakra in the most beautiful way. I'm doing a massive change history on the heart chakra and all the contracts around people pleasing, allowing the superconscious field to emanate anything that might help you heal right now on this journey, this next week, something that you could do for yourself that perhaps you can commit to, that you've just been wanting to do for so long, feeling ready to do. Just ask that every cell in your body join this treatment plan, moving forward with the most amount of satisfaction, the least amount of pain, the least amount of trauma and tension, and just do a massive change history on the whole heart chakra and lower chakras. As we feel our tree integrating into the most beautiful, lengthy branches as they start to spindle out into the blue coloration of our throat chakra, as we allow ourselves to be so cognizant of our words, knowing they're like medicine or poison as they come out, feeling the words coming into our body as medicine or poison, and choosing what it is we allow into our field. Those boundaries around what we say, what we feel, what we hear are going to be reset to a point where we're going to be feeling, seeing, hearing the most beautiful signals and signs that we are on the right path, and just being open to all possibilities. Every word, how we're saying, and allowing the secrets that we've been keeping to come up and be healed right now in this throat chakra. Secrets love to hide around that throat chakra, and they keep it closed. And just ask superconscious to cleanse and clear, transmute, and recode any of those secrets in the body, allowing them to just be simply healed, transposed in the most gentle way, knowing that they kept us safe from being judged, knowing that they kept us safe from harming others or ourselves, just allowing them to be moved through. They're just ready to be let go now. Some of them aren't even true, some of them aren't even ours, and do a massive change history on that. And as we feel this light energy start to be plunged up from the earth all the way up in through our third eye, as we imagine this energy start to fill our face and our forehead and our eyes, our brain, just imagine that whole, almost like from your eyebrows down, feeling this whole expansiveness start to happen in your field as this beautiful indigo color starts to settle in around the crown, around the third eye. Having all these intrusive thoughts, all this confusion, all this swirling going around, literally be cleared as you feel your third eye start to open and expand and release this energy, release these old patterns, release this stubbornness, release this feeling of not being able to see the clarity, and just releasing those stories of not being able to see it. And do a massive change history on this third eye and all of the parts that hung on to that confusion as a safety blanket, saying, I can't see, just allowing that to dissipate right now, cleaning and clearing. Those parts that are in denial, superconscious, please tag and treat any of those parts that are in denial, any of those parts that can't see another way out, and just open it up to all possibilities and tag and treat all that in the field. Do a massive change history on seeing all the possibilities with clarity and conviction like we've never seen before. Take a nice receiving breath as that third eye opens, as you actually feel pressure or lightness in the forehead as your brain starts to buzz, as your brain almost starts to vibrate, as we feel this gorgeous white light start to expand, this womb-like forest energy start to come into our crown and open up like branches and leaves starting to bud and bloom and fold away and come into their true position of being completely open in summer, absorbing the sun, absorbing the rain, soaking it all in. And superconscious, please tag and treat all of the parts in and around our crown chakra, scars, cords, healing, transmuting, and clearing. Anything about the way we had to see things, the stubbornness, the spiritual journey, the spiritual expansiveness that we're ready to just drop right into and allow our tree to just expand into the sunlight, almost as though it's absorbing this eclipse light, learning anything else about some of those parts in us that may be stubborn, that may be really rigid. How can we relax some of those? How can we be a little kinder to ourselves? How can we be a little bit more fluent in our spiritual journey? How can we allow our spiritual expansion to truly happen? Tagging and treating any of those parts and any resistance to bringing these parts in. And doing a massive change history on that. And choosing now to just be in the full identity of who you really are, of being that true predominant creative force in your life, that one who has the power and control, that warrior. Tagging and treating the worrier, tagging and treating jealousy. Integrating the parts of us that are so happy for others, bringing us into our full wholeness of ourselves, truly aligning on the path that we want to go, and allowing this crown chakra being open to give you just a glimmer, just a few months ahead of where you're traveling to, being that true predominant creative force in your life, really allowing yourself to go for it, finally giving yourself permission. And superconscious, please tag and treat giving yourself that permission in all of the chakras and all of the energy centers, and feeling them align right now. feeling those colors and those energy centers truly stacked on top of each other as the light starts to just pour out of your head. As it starts to pour into the garden around you, as it starts to pour in to the other trees, as these leaves and these seeds that have been popping out and on your tree are starting to now shed and plant other seeds, planting a forest. And imagine these little seeds sprouting off of this big tree, of this aligned center that you are. And imagine all the possibilities. Imagine the things that could come to fruition from just believing in yourself, just trusting yourself, just trusting that the energy is here right now to move us forward, to finally allow us to be on this timeline that we have chosen, to keep that strength, to keep that commitment, to keep that consistency, to keep that energy flowing like a wave. And just imagine these leaves blowing in the wind, just feeling that energy all working together, the rain coming down, feeding and nourishing, washing out any other dense energy with your breath, taking a nice deep breath in, a nice receiving breath of this beautiful energy, releasing any more denseness like a tree emitting carbon dioxide. Just imagine the denseness seeping out of any energy center that needs to reset. Bringing all of these parts in as this whole you, seeing this tree like you've never seen before with this strength and this power that's just being illuminated by the planets. Tagging and treating any more parts, bringing them all together for this new contract. And I want you to just tell all of these parts right now where you're going, what you're ready to do. Just for a moment, write a new contract for all of these parts. Write a new contract. The one you're intending. Doesn't matter what's happened in the past. You have full control over where this is going and what you are capable of. Your self-worth, the abundance is just flowing through with all this space. Just knowing that you are the most abundant source of energy. You have all of these energetic sources at work, pushing you forward, showing you where you're supposed to be, feeling the wholeness. And I want you to imagine a few months from now, a few years from now, whatever it may be, allowing this to continue in your fullest, authentic version of yourself. Allowing that to expand, not in what you have, but who you are, how you take care of yourself, how you are authentically living every day, how you are guiding others, how you are guiding your children, how you are guiding your own energy, how you are creating relationships in your life, how you're noticing. And superconscious, please do a massive change history on anything else in the field that's needed right now. Any old events, any old beliefs, these limiting beliefs are ready to just be shed. These old stories are ready to be let go, and allowing any of those to be drawn down like the earth is sucking them away, like the earth is just pulling any of these old codes back down into the grid to be recalibrated. And bring that energy of all of these new teachings down through your whole authentic self, literally coding and recoding every single cell of the body, every organ, every system, and creating this identity that you know you always have been capable of. You'll be able to see it now more clearly than ever in this light. We're going to ground all of this into the matrix of the universe, into memories and timelines 1, 2, and 3. And staying in this timeline that you're created, that you have been creating, that you are, that you're just coming back home to. And when you're ready, you can just wiggle a finger, toe, take a nice receiving breath. And I do encourage you to do some writing. Really allow this week to be your teacher. Allow these planets that are just moving and shifting in ways that are so profound, grounding you, feeling that Taurus bull energy. Imagine yourself almost being like a bull, being that strong, powerful creator, knowing that you're in control of your destiny. Moving through a whole town, having everyone move out of your way, feeling that, get your feet stamping. What do you want? It's time to go. It's time to go after it. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm so happy to have you here tonight. I hope that was helpful. I apologize for going over time. I always tend to do that. I have just got tingles. My whole body has been goosebumps for most of this meditation, so I'm hoping that you guys feel it too. I'm going to say goodbye in Facebook world, just so